Taurus, there's that strange feeling in the air, as if this year-end has a different flavor. It's not like the others. It doesn't have that feeling of repetition, of another December coming. There's something vibrating beneath the surface, something you can't name, but that's there, latent, waiting. And the more days pass, the stronger this silent certainty becomes. This time, it will be different, completely different. You can try to do everything the same. Buy the same gifts, visit the same people, follow the same end-of-year rituals. But it won't help, because it's not about what you do externally. It's about what's happening inside you. And inside Taurus, you're unrecognizable. You've changed. You're no longer the person who entered this year. And this end of the year won't just be the closing of another cycle. It will be the funeral of who you were and the birth of who you are becoming. And before you try to rationalize this, before you say, "It's just my imagination," let me stop you there. It's not an impression, it's perception. You've always been sensitive to change, even when you try to ignore it. You sense things before they happen. You feel the weight in the air before the storm. And now you're feeling it again, only more intensely, because what's coming isn't a superficial little change. It's a complete revolution of your existence. And you know it. You've always known. Let me ask you a direct question. When was the last time you felt truly excited about the future? Not that forced excitement you show because it's what's expected, but that genuine excitement, that good kind of butterflies in your stomach, that feeling of, wow, something incredible is coming. It's been a while, hasn't it? Maybe years, because you've been living in survival mode, one day after another, fulfilling obligations, paying bills, maintaining expectations. And in the midst of all that, you've forgotten what it's like to truly be alive. But this year-end will remind you. It will shake you in a way you're not expecting, because something or someone is coming that will disrupt the order you cherish so much. And I know that scares you. Taurus loves control, loves predictability, loves knowing exactly what to expect from every situation. But the universe doesn't care about what you love. It's more interested in what you need. And what you need now is precisely the opposite of control. You need chaos, you need surprise, you need to be ripped from the comfort zone that has become a prison. Look, I understand the resistance. I understand that you built your life brick by brick with sweat and sacrifice, and now you're afraid it will all crumble. But here's the truth that will set you free. What will fall is not what is solid. It's what is false. The things you built out of obligation, not love. The relationships you maintain out of guilt, not connection. The jobs you endured for security, not purpose. All of that, it can fall. In fact, it needs to fall, because it's occupying the space where real things should be. So when you feel that fear rising, when you think, "Oh my God, I'm losing control," breathe and remember, you're not losing control. You're gaining life, because control is an illusion. Control is you trying to hold on tightly to something you should have let go of a long time ago. And this year-end will teach you something no other year has taught you: the art of letting go, of trusting, of allowing life to surprise you instead of trying to dictate every detail. Now pay attention, because this is crucial. In the coming weeks, things will start appearing in your life unexpectedly. They could be opportunities. They could be people. They could be invitations, proposals, meetings that you didn't plan. And you, being a Taurus, will have that impulse to refuse, to say, "No, thank you, I'm fine the way I am." But if you do that, if you let the fear of change paralyze you, you will lose exactly what came to save you from the stagnation you're sinking into without realizing it. Because Taurus, let's be honest here, you're stagnant. You're stuck in a routine that puts you to sleep instead of waking you up. And you know it. You feel it every time you wake up without the will to get out of bed. Every time you look in the mirror and don't recognize the tiredness in your eyes. Every time you think, "Is this it? Is this all life has to offer me?" But you're afraid to admit it, because admitting it means having to do something about it. And doing something means change. and change is exactly what you avoid most. But it's no longer possible. You've reached a point where standing still hurts more than moving. You've reached a limit where the security you so fiercely protect has become the very thing that suffocates you. And this year end is the universe saying, enough. Enough of living half a life. Enough of accepting less than you deserve. Enough of building a life that's beautiful on the outside and empty on the inside. It's time to dismantle what no longer serves you and build something real. And you know what the craziest part of all this is? You already know what you need to do. You don't need more information, more time, more signs. You know, that decision you've been putting off for months, maybe years. That conversation you need to have but keep avoiding. That dream you gave up on, but that never stopped whispering in your ear during sleepless nights. You know exactly what I'm talking about, and this end of the year will force you to face it head on. So let me tell you how this will happen. You'll be there, living your normal life, when suddenly something will hit you. It could be a phrase someone says unintentionally, but that deeply affects you. It could be an old memory that resurfaces out of nowhere and makes you question everything. It could be a moment alone where the mask falls and you finally see yourself as you really are. And at that moment, you'll have two choices. Continue pretending everything's okay, or finally admit that it's not. And I'm going to tell you something no one tells you. It's okay not to be okay. It's okay to admit that you got lost along the way, that you made choices out of fear and not love, that you built a life that seems right but doesn't fulfill you. Admitting this isn't failure, it's courage. It's the first step to finally finding yourself again. And this end of the year is about that, about you reconnecting with that version of yourself that was buried under layers of should be, must do, must maintain. But there's an important detail here. This reunion won't be romantic. It won't be like in the movies, where everything is resolved in a beautiful scene with background music. It will be messy. It will be painful. You'll have to face truths about yourself that you've avoided for years. You'll have to look at the choices you've made and acknowledge that some of them have distanced you from who you really are. You'll have to accept that people you love may not understand this transformation of yours. And all of this will hurt, like nothing has ever hurt before. But what about the other side of this pain? On the other side, there's a freedom you've never experienced. There's a life where you wake up because you want to, not because you have to. Where you make choices that nourish your soul, not just your bank account. Where you connect with people who see the real you, not just the convenient version you show. Where you finally take a deep breath and think, this is mine, this is real, this is worthwhile. And another thing, this year end will show you who's really on your side. Because when you start to change, when you start questioning things, when you start setting boundaries you never dared to set before, some people will react badly. They'll call you selfish. They'll say you've changed, and you have, thank God. They'll try to blame you for no longer being the person who silently accepted everything. And you know what you do with those people? Let them go. Because those who truly love you will support your growth, even when that growth takes you far from what was comfortable for them. Now, I want you to pay attention to something specific. In the coming weeks, you will receive proposals. Not necessarily formal job or relationship proposals, but life proposals. Invitations for you to be different, to act differently, to choose differently. And you will feel that inner voice saying, this isn't for me, I don't deserve this, this is too good to be true. That voice is fear disguised as prudence. It's your comfort zone trying to keep you trapped. Don't believe it. Believe the part of you that gets goosebumps when something truly resonates. Believe the part that knows you deserve more, even when everything else screams that you should settle for less. And you know what else? You've been carrying too much weight alone. You've been trying too hard to be strong, to solve everything on your own, never asking for help because that would be weakness. But Taurus, strength isn't about enduring everything in silence. Strength is having the courage to say, I can't handle this. It's having the humility to accept that you need support. It's having the wisdom to understand that asking for help doesn't diminish you, it humanizes you. And this end of the year will teach you this in the rawest way possible. Either you learn to share the burden or you crumble under it. And when you fall apart, because you will, everyone falls apart at some point, it won't be the end, it will be the beginning. It will be that point where you finally stop pretending you can handle everything and start being real. And in your vulnerability, in your raw honesty, you will discover something surprising. People don't love you for your strength. They love you despite it. They want to know the real you, with all your fears and weaknesses, but you never let them. You always kept everyone at a safe distance. But safe for whom? Safe so you wouldn't get hurt, or safe so you wouldn't have to reveal yourself. This year-end will break down those walls. It will expose you in ways you're not used to, and you will resist. You'll want to run back to your shell, to your comfort zone, to your self-imposed solitude. But if you hold on tight, if you allow people to truly see you, you'll discover that real connection, the kind where you are fully seen and yet still loved, is far better than the false security of being alone. And there's another revelation coming. You'll discover that what you thought you wanted is no longer what you want. Those goals you pursued for years, you might realize they were never truly yours. They were implanted. They were expectations you internalized and transformed into goals, as if they were your own choices, but they weren't. And this end of the year will give you clarity to distinguish between what is genuinely yours and what you only accepted because it was easier than questioning. And when that clarity comes, you'll have to make difficult decisions. You'll have to let go of things you've invested a lot of time and energy in. You'll have to admit that some paths were wrong. You'll have to change direction mid-journey, and that will be terrifying because Taurus hates wasting. Hates the idea that all that effort was in vain, but it wasn't in vain. It was necessary. You needed to walk that path to understand that it wasn't your path. You needed to build that life to realize it wasn't the life you wanted. And now you have the wisdom and courage to build differently. Let me tell you something about new beginnings. They don't get easier with age. In fact, they get scarier. Because you have more to lose, more history built, more people depending on you, more reasons to stay where you are, even if you're unhappy. But you also have more wisdom, more awareness of what works and what doesn't, more clarity about who you are and what you really need. And that's what makes this end of the year so powerful. You're no longer that naive person who believes any promise. You're someone who has already suffered, already made mistakes, already learned. And when you choose to start over now, you choose wisely, with intention, with truth. So when that fear of making a mistake hits, remember this: the only real mistake is betraying who you are out of fear of what might happen. The only lasting regret is not having tried. The only true failure is giving up on yourself before you even begin. And you, Taurus, you've never been one to give up. You just need to redirect that stubbornness. Stop being stubborn about staying stuck and start being stubborn about breaking free. And there's one last secret I need to tell you about this year-end. It will give you a gift you didn't even know you needed. It could be someone who will show you what real connection is. It could be an opportunity that will open doors you didn't even know existed. It could be a revelation about yourself that will change everything. I don't know what gift specifically is yours, but you'll know when you receive it, because it will be exactly what your soul was begging for, even when your mouth didn't know how to ask. And you know what makes this end of the year even more powerful? It's that you're no longer willing to pretend. Gone are the days when you smiled when you wanted to cry, when you said everything's fine, when everything was crumbling inside. You're tired of the performance, tired of wearing masks that hurt your own face. And this weariness, Taurus, is not weakness, it's maturity. It's you finally recognizing that living a lie costs more than any painful truth. And look how interesting. While you're preparing for this different end of the year, other people around you will be doing exactly what they've always done. Same complaints, same empty New Year's resolutions, same illusion that changing the calendar changes anything. But you're on a different frequency now. You've understood that it's not about turning the page of the year, but about rewriting the entire book of your life. And this awareness sets you apart, isolates you a little, but it also frees you from having to participate in the collective theater where everyone pretends they're going to change and nobody changes anything. There's something else you need to know. This year-end will teach you the difference between loneliness and solitude. Loneliness is being surrounded by people and yet feeling completely alone because no one truly sees you. Solitude is being alone but at peace because you're finally in good company, your own. And you'll experience both. There will be moments when you feel terribly alone in the middle of a crowd, but there will also be moments when you're with yourself and you'll think, wow, I like this person, I respect this person, I choose this person. And when that happens, everything changes. Because look, you spent so much time trying to be loved by others that you forgot to love yourself first. You spent so much time trying to prove your worth that you forgot you're already valuable, with or without external approval. You spent so much time building a life to impress others that you forgot to ask yourself if that life impressed you. And this year-end will put that question in your face bluntly. Do you like the life you've built, or do you only like the idea that others like it? And when you're honest with that answer, and you will be, because you no longer have the energy to lie, you might discover uncomfortable things. You might discover that you've been living to please people who don't even really know you, that you've sacrificed your own dreams to fulfill others' expectations, that you've made yourself small to fit into spaces that were never meant for you. And discovering this hurts. It hurts to realize how much time you wasted being someone you're not. But it also liberates you, because now you know. And knowing this, you can choose differently. So tell me something. Are you willing to disappoint some people to finally stop disappointing yourself? Are you willing to be called selfish by those who have always benefited from your self-sacrifice? Are you willing to lose what's comfortable to gain what's real? Because this year-end will demand these choices from you. You won't be able to sit on the fence. You won't be able to please everyone. You'll have to choose a side, and I hope you choose yours. But to receive this gift, you need to have your hands open, and your hands have been closed, tightly holding on to what no longer serves you. You need to let go. You need to create space. You need to empty yourself so you can fill up again with something better. And I know that terrifies you. Because what if you let go and nothing comes in its place? What if you give up and end up with empty hands? But Taurus, listen, your hands are already empty. You're just pretending to hold on to something of value. You're holding on to illusions, and the more you hold on, the less space there is for reality to enter. So in the coming days, pay attention to the signs. They will be everywhere. In that casual conversation that stirs something deep within you, in that unexpected invitation that pulls you out of your routine, in that persistent thought that won't leave you in peace, in that dream you wake up remembering every detail of. All of this is the universe trying to wake you up, prepare you, guide you to what's coming. But you need to be attentive. You need to be present. You need to stop living on autopilot and start feeling each moment as if it were unique, because it is. And when the final moment arrives, when the year turns and everyone else is making their generic wishes for health and peace, you'll be making a different wish. It won't be about having more. It will be about being more, about becoming who you were born to be before the world told you who you should be. And that wish, Taurus, that wish will be heard. It will be fulfilled. It will become reality, but not because the universe is magic, because